Hello everyone. It's wonderful to see you again. We appreciate your presence with us today. We have a captivating tale to unfold, so let us dive in. My name is Jason, and it was only through the watchful eye of my car's security camera that the truth revealed itself to me. I might have continued to embrace a comforting illusion, convinced that my marriage was unshakable, believing in my wife's unwavering devotion. Once I beheld it, there was no turning away. Before we delve into the specifics, I invite you to take a moment to truly reflect on this. How deeply do you truly understand your partner? Is it possible they are weaving a hidden narrative just beyond your awareness? Because I once held the deep conviction that my wife, Lauren, would always remain faithful to me. And yet, here I find myself, sharing this tale with you. Stay with me until the very end, as I'm eager to hear how you would navigate this if you were in my position. Would you have approached it in a similar manner? Or might you have chosen another path? Let's dive deeper. My journey with Lauren has spanned 7 beautiful years of shared moments and deep connection. I always trusted her completely. I've always felt that true love doesn't involve lurking in shadows or searching for hidden truths. You trust their assurance. That was my perspective, and for 7 years that conviction remained steadfast. My work keeps me in constant motion, always engaged and alive with the rhythm of my endeavors. Comes with the territory. There are months when I find myself journeying once or twice, while at other times, I may linger away for weeks, embracing the allure of distant places. While it may not be perfect, the compensation is generous, and I took care to ensure Lauren felt at ease. Whenever I was near, I found myself drawn to her, cherishing every moment we shared. Returning from my recent journey, I felt a wave of warmth wash over me as I embraced the comfort of being home with my wife. After a week filled with endless meetings, long flights, and little time for rest, all I yearned for was a serene day to unwind and find my center. The following morning, I felt the urge to take my BMW 7 Series for a brief drive, savoring the moment as I set out to gather a few things for myself. Yet, as I turned the key and the engine roared to life, an unsettling feeling washed over me. The engine emitted a roughness that felt out of place, lacking the harmony it once had. It possessed a certain rawness. Suddenly, a maintenance alert appeared on the dashboard, drawing attention with its gentle insistence. That felt confusing. Before I departed, I had tended to the car, ensuring it was in perfect harmony, running smoothly as I set off. It seemed inexplicable for it to be behaving this way now, unless some unseen event had transpired in my absence. I stepped back inside and discovered Lauren in the kitchen. I looked into her eyes and asked directly, "Did you take this car for a spin while I was gone?" She responded almost instinctively, without a moment's pause. "Indeed, I took it with me to see a dear friend." That was the moment. No additional information. In that fleeting moment, I found no need to delve deeper. It was merely a car, wasn't it? If she desired it, she desired it. I embraced her response with an open heart, allowing it to settle within me effortlessly. I entered the auto shop, a wave of frustration washing over me. The instant my eyes met the Reggie's, I felt an undeniable pull. "What type of care did you provide for my car?" I requested with a sense of urgency. "I brought it in just last week before my journey, and now it seems to be causing me some trouble. Are you truly aware of the path you're taking?" The Reggie, a middle-aged man with hands marked by his craft, brushed the sweat from his brow with a gentle motion and regarded me with a hint of perplexity in his eyes. He remained calm, a gentle sigh escaping his lips as he approached my car. In silence, he lifted the hood, his hands moving gently as he began to examine the intricate details within. I stood there, arms crossed, a storm of emotions swirling within me. I truly can't comprehend what has transpired, but this is simply beyond reason. I invested a considerable amount to ensure this car remains in pristine condition, yet now it seems to be misbehaving as if it hasn't received the care it deserves in ages. The Reggie softly hummed to himself, his fingers gliding over the engine as he delicately ran diagnostics. Moments drifted by in quietude, punctuated only by the soft clicking of his tools. I had hoped he would acknowledge his mistake or offer some explanation, Yet silence lingered between us. As the Reggie delved deeper into the intricacies of the vehicle, he connected his scan tool, allowing the systems to reveal their secrets. He then glided to the car's infotainment system, his fingers dancing over the controls with a familiar grace. I remained there, arms crossed, a quiet anticipation lingering in the air, hoping he would finally acknowledge the missteps of the last service. But rather than discussing the car's performance, he unexpectedly turned to me and uttered something that left me utterly taken aback. "You may wish to take a moment to review your security camera footage." Captured a moment of intrigue after the service. My eyes fluttered, momentarily surprised. "What is it?" He remained focused on the screen for a moment longer, his fingers dancing softly across the surface. When he finally locked his gaze with mine, his expression held a mysterious depth. "Your vehicle is equipped with a dashcam, isn't it?" he inquired, his voice measured, carrying an air of deliberate nonchalance. "You might want to consider watching the footage. You may discover it enlightening." The irritation of the car's unexpected failure gradually melted away. What on earth was he trying to convey? What might be captured in the footage that merits a mention? The way he expressed it made it clear that this was more than just a typical engine problem. There was an undercurrent of something deeper at play. I took a deep breath and reached for my phone, launching the dashcam app with a sense of anticipation. My fingers lingered above the latest recordings, pausing for a brief moment. Little did I know what awaited me in that moment. The footage revealed Lauren gracefully unlocking my car, slipping inside, and driving away as if it were just another ordinary day. Just her, at ease behind the wheel, guiding the car precisely to the place she had mentioned, her friend's house. The scene continued beyond her friend's home. A new clip followed closely behind. This time it was more than just Lauren. She remained in the driver's seat, surrounded by the warmth of her friends, their laughter filling the space around them. They were sharing laughter, engaging in conversation, filled with excitement about something. I furrowed my brow. This wasn't what she had shared with me. She had only hinted at visiting her friend's place, not at the idea of being out together at this hour. I observed them as they departed from the driveway, merging onto the main road under the night sky. The path felt familiar to me at once. I felt a deep understanding of their destination, a vibrant nightclub. I lingered on the video for a moment, seeking to unravel its meaning. Lauren kept the idea of a girl's night out to herself. If it was merely playful, why did she choose to keep it from me? In my state of uncertainty, I found myself unprepared for the next moment that would transform everything. A third clip appeared on the screen, drawing attention with its allure. Hours had slipped away, marking the passage of time. Lauren lingered in my car, while her friends had faded into the distance. Instead, she found herself in the presence of another, a stranger whose face was unfamiliar to me. They found themselves in a secluded, shadowy space. The soft glow of the streetlights cast a gentle light within the car, allowing me to perceive just enough to feel the moment's intimacy. I was aware of it all, every detail unfolding before me. Lauren and the man leaned in, their faces nearly touching, sharing soft whispers that danced just out of my earshot. And then, in a moment of pure connection, she pressed her lips to his. A wave of unease washed over me. I observed as they intertwined, hands exploring, bodies drawing close as if they had longed for this connection. This was profound and filled with intensity. They paused for a moment, sharing gentle laughter, as my wife handed him the keys. He settled into the driver's seat, and together they drove away, leaving a lingering warmth in the air. Their destination was clear, no need for speculation. Their next turn led them directly to the inviting embrace of a hotel. I remained there, utterly motionless. My mind struggled to fully grasp the scene unfolding before me. Just hours before, I had reached out to Lauren that evening while I was still away on my journey. I inquired about her day, a familiar gesture of care, and she softly replied that she was at home. She wove her words with effortless grace. My attention drifted away from the Reggie, who was diligently explaining the rough idle issue with my car. His words faded into the background, lost in the haze of my thoughts. My thoughts lingered on the profound truth of what I had just witnessed. Had it not been for the security camera, this revelation would have remained hidden from me. I would have returned home, embraced her softly, nestled beside her, and continued as if nothing had changed. But now I understood, and there was no turning back from this realization. That evening, I found myself seated across from Lauren in the warmth of the living room. The house held a serene stillness, broken only by the gentle murmur of the refrigerator. She gently swiped through her phone, lost in thought. I inhaled deeply, allowing my voice to remain steady and soothing. "How did you spend your weekend?" I inquired, my gaze lingering on her intently. She glanced up just briefly, offering a soft, nonchalant response that it was fine. I nodded, feigning acceptance of her response before inquiring further. "Did you find yourself in any delightful places?" In that moment, she paused, if only for a heartbeat. Yet, she gently shook her head. "No, I spent the day at home, simply unwinding." She was lying once more, yet this time it was to me directly, her eyes betraying neither uncertainty nor remorse. I allowed the stillness to linger between us for a heartbeat before I set my phone down on the table, unlocked the screen, and pressed play. The scene captured my car gliding out of the driveway, with Lauren at the helm, her presence radiating a quiet confidence. Her gaze darted to the screen, a spark of surprise illuminating her eyes. She sat up with a graceful poise. "What is this?" she inquired, her voice taking on a softer, more fragile quality. I remained silent. I allowed the video to flow on, enveloping me in its rhythm. It captured her gathering with her friends, each adorned in their finest, sharing laughter, and stepping out into the night towards the club. My eyes drifted toward her. Her eyes fluttered rapidly, thoughts racing as she sought a reason to offer. "It's not what it seems," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. I remained silent. I simply moved ahead. The next clip revealed her in the parking lot, entwined with a guy, sharing a passionate kiss. In that moment, everything unraveled for her. She sprang up from her seat, a sudden rush of energy coursing through her. "Jason, allow me to share my thoughts with you." Her hands trembled softly, her voice filled with longing. I found myself lost in a haze, my thoughts swirling in a disarray. I remained silent. I found myself drawn once more to the moment when we left for the hotel. In that moment, she reached her breaking point. She sank into her chair, her hands gently concealing her face. "I messed up," she whispered, her voice soft and trembling like a gentle breeze. It unfolded in a way I never anticipated. I found myself lost in a haze, my thoughts swirling in a dance that felt both intoxicating and disorienting. I gazed at her, a wave of conflicting emotions washing over me. Is there a drink we could share? Was that truly her reason? The woman I chose to share my life with, the one I held dear, wanted me to accept that her betrayal was merely a mistake. I leaned back, watching as my wife transforms into a free spirit the moment she indulges in a drink. She flinched at my words, yet chose to remain silent. In that moment, a realization washed over me. This likely wasn't the first encounter of its kind. She seemed to find an unsettling ease in weaving her fabrications around me. If the camera in my car hadn't captured her, would she have ever revealed the truth to me? Or continued on, as if she weren't out there breaking my heart? I gazed at her, this woman who had shared my life for 7 years, and felt a profound sense of distance, as if she had become a stranger to me. If this was merely a fleeting moment that I stumbled upon, how many other moments have slipped by unnoticed? How many times had she woven her deceptions right before my eyes while I toiled away, pouring my heart into my work? The deeper my thoughts wandered, the more my emotions stirred within me. I wasn't merely losing my wife. I was unraveling the very fabric of my trust. For the following week, I found myself ensnared in a labyrinth of my own reflections, revisiting every moment in my mind. I longed to find a solution, yet it seemed that none existed. The woman I held dear could weave her words with such effortless deceit. If she managed it once, she could surely find a way to do it again. The thought of living in such uncertainty was unbearable, always left to ponder what secrets lay beneath the surface. Trust, once shattered, cannot be easily restored by mere tears and words of regret. By the seventh day, I felt a deep understanding that there was no path ahead. As the evening unfolded, I beckoned Lauren into the living room. She seemed to feel the shift in the air, settling down with a delicate caution, her fingers entwined with the hem of her shirt as if preparing herself for what was to unfold. I embraced every moment. I conveyed to her that our journey had reached its end, without the need for lengthy justifications. I presented her with two choices. Initially, we might part ways gently without turmoil or complications. She would depart, and we would drift apart on our own paths. Or, if she chose to challenge me on this, I held the evidence close to my heart. The visuals spoke the truth. I would ensure that everyone witnessed, in full clarity, the essence of who she truly was in those moments when she believed she was unseen. I witnessed the fear wash over her, a quiet understanding dawning that escape was no longer an option. If the video were to be revealed, it would shatter her reputation, unravel her meticulously crafted persona, and bring everything crashing down. She parted her lips, perhaps to plead or offer another reason, but then she fell silent once more. She understood that no words could alter the course of what had already transpired. After a prolonged, charged silence, she gave a gentle nod. She consented. The following morning, she gathered her belongings with a gentle sense of purpose. There was no grand farewell, no desperate plea to sway my decision. A woman carefully packing her life into a few suitcases, fully aware that the choices she made were hers alone to carry. I chose not to witness her departure. I found no reason to. The instant she stepped through that door, a part of her slipped away from me. As the echoes of our shared moments faded and Lauren stepped away from my life, I found myself in the stillness of our once vibrant home, enveloped in a profound solitude. I soon discovered that the journey of moving on was far more complex than merely signing divorce papers. The wound lingered, refusing to heal with the passing of the night. How could I ever place my trust in another, knowing that the one I cherished could turn away so effortlessly? The idea of beginning anew with someone unfamiliar stirred a mix of weariness and a flutter of fear within me. Rather than confronting those feelings, I immersed myself in my work. My business transformed into my sanctuary, a refuge where I could find solace. Figures reveal the truth, gains remain steadfast, and achievement does not murmur hollow assurances in the quiet of the night. If love eludes me in its stead, I shall find solace in the steadfastness of my career. And for a time that felt right. The endless hours enveloped me, providing a welcome distraction from the weight of my loss, allowing my mind to wander elsewhere. Yet, beneath the surface, I sensed that this was not a lasting answer. I realized that I could no longer seek refuge in my work. Someday, I will find the courage to embrace it once more. One day, I hope to encounter someone who will show me that love can be genuine and pure, free from the shadows of deceit. Yet, today feels different. Not at this moment. I was still gathering the fragments of the life I believed was mine. Now, I long to listen to your thoughts. How would you feel if you found yourself in my position? Do you think you might have approached it in another way? Would you have sought to mend what was broken? Or would you have turned away as I did? And the most profound question remains, could you ever find it in your heart to forgive a betrayal of this nature? For I am intimately aware of who I am. Even if I made the effort, I doubt I could ever see her through the same lens again. Share your thoughts with me in the comments. I would love to know your thoughts. And if you know someone who could benefit from this tale, someone who may be overlooking the subtle signs in their own connection, share this with them. Allow them to witness the fragile nature of trust, how swiftly it can break apart. If you've journeyed this far, a gentle tap on the like button would be appreciated. It truly makes a difference. And before I take my leave, I want to share this with you. Truth has a way of revealing itself, often in the most unexpected moments.